Oh, man. Check out Naked Sports on YouTube. Shout out to Dylan with the dope comment. Zach Drapo assists the elderly. I don't. I'd like to say I do.
I don't.
I don't interact with a lot of elderly, honestly. I help my grandparents.
You could have just taken that to the
I help
bank,
my grandparents. All right, MMA Complete, episode 41. It is April 8th. We just did Bet the Deed podcast on Naked Sports, so go check that out.
Yeah, go check that out. We got some interesting
Got a lot of
picks.
interesting bets.
Go choose the Suns tonight.
Yeah. So we are 2 days away from the short notice fight between Kevin Holland and Marvin Vettori.
Yeah.
Next week. There's actually a bunch of interesting fights on the card this weekend, which we will be talking about.
Yeah.
Bobby Knuckles versus another short notice take for Kelvin Gastelum.
We can even sprinkle. That's the word of the day today.
Yeah.
We can even sprinkle in some Bellator if we wanted to.
Absolutely. Which we will. I'll definitely be talking about that. Bellator coming up tomorrow. Ryan Bader fights Lyoto Machida in the first fight of their light heavyweight Grand Prix, which we will see Yoel Romero versus Anthony Johnson in next weekend, which will be another. I will definitely be talking about that next week. 100%.
I think.
And then next weekend also, we have Kelvin Gastelum versus Robert Whitaker, as I said, but we also have Ben Askren versus Jake Paul next weekend.
Wow.
So next weekend's going to be an interesting weekend of fights.
Yeah. Jake Paul.
Let me get this fucking comment out of the way. Why do I have this here? All right. So, a lot to unpack. And we haven't even gotten into UFC 261, which we'll be talking about a little bit, but we talk about that more as
we talk about that
closer.
every podcast. Talk about the
Right.
end of every podcast. Just dive in. And every time. You got to talk about it.
So, to start things off, let's
Watch the
talk
live
about
stream, too.
Right. We live stream every pay-per-view 6 to 1, so check that out. But to start out today's podcast, let's get into Marvin Vettori versus Kevin Holland and why Kevin Holland might actually have we can't talk about the bets, but he might actually have an interesting opportunity ahead of him. So Kevin Holland is going to fight Marvin Vettori. He only accepted the fight 2 weeks ago. It's going to be a 5-round main event fight. Kevin Holland was defeated by Devin Brunson.
Derek.
No, is it Derek? It is Derek Brunson. Couldn't think of his name. Only 2 weeks ago. And I have to email Dylan this link.
Oh, he's going to join? Okay. Respect.
You want to talk about Kevin Holland versus Marvin Vettori for a second?
Kevin Holland versus Marvin Vettori, whatever his fucking name is. I think this fight, if you want to talk about the betting standards, go check out Bet the Deed. But I think, dude, Kevin Holland could win by KO, if anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I agree. I think that if he were to win, it would be by a stoppage.
And if he loses, it's by decision.
Right.
That's what I think. So what do you think happens more often than not, decision or Kevin Holland KO? I would take the decision. So I'm gonna think Marvin Vettori decision. I'm not gonna front on the.
Yeah, I think that not only do I think that's what's gonna happen, but I think a lot of people think that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
As I just sent Dylan a link. So he'll probably be joining us in a second.
So I got Vettori by decision. I know that was kind of like a quick rundown, and I'm sure Kevin Holland has an insane reach advantage. But I mean, look what he did against a guy that had a name in the UFC. I mean, Marvin. What is his first name?
Marvin Vettori.
Marvin Vettori. I don't think that he has the skill to beat him. I really don't.
You don't think Holland has the skill to beat Vettori?
No, I think Marvin Vettori.
I think he has the skill. I don't know if he has that
a knockout
mindset,
power,
man. I think against someone who's really in it to be the best, I don't think Kevin Holland has that mental aspect.
And the way that he eats and trains and he trains hard, but the way that he eats and cares about himself, he is just. I don't see him doing good in a short notice fight. I mean, in this stance, I mean, I know he does do good in short notice fights like he did before, but not against people with names.
Right.
He did it with people with no namers. Like people that were on the out.
We said that Derek Brunson was Kevin Holland's toughest opponent before he fought him, and he lost. And now Marvin Vettori is ranked higher than Derek Brunson. Or he was. Derek Brunson actually shot up to number 4 on the middleweight rankings because of that last fight.
Yeah.
I would argue that Marvin Vettori is probably of equal like he's equal with Derek Brunson as far as skill and what they are in the MMA.
Yeah.
In the UFC, I should say.
I think Derek Brunson could be a force for Adesanya just because of the ground game.
Well, Adesanya already knocked out Derek Brunson a couple of years ago. Well, 2 years ago, whatever it was.
Yeah. But Marvin Vettori, I think by decision. That's my guess.
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be by decision as well. Marvin Vettori came out so strong against Jack Hermanson that if he can do even 80% of the performance he had against Hermanson, I think he beats Holland by decision.
Yeah.
And I think
Jack Hermanson, it is a good win. It is a good win
against Derek Brunson.
He was 5. He was 5 at the time.
Oh, it's a great win. Jack Hermanson is getting
top 5 win.
Right, and we hadn't seen him before that, at least since we've been doing the podcast. Jack Hermanson's no joke. He was a strong top 5, and then Marvin Vettori kicked the shit out of him.
Yeah.
So very impressive, and if he can do that against Holland, he will win.
Even Marvin, I like decision and KO.
Yeah, I think if I had to pick, it would be decision. Though.
Yeah.
So also on the card, we have a couple other decent fights on that card. So not only we talked about it a little bit, Sadiq Youssef versus Arnold Allen in the co-main event. That's a decent featherweight matchup between. Let me see if I can get it here. I think they're ranked. Youssef number 11, Allen number 10. So a top 10 matchup in the featherweight division. That's going to be pretty interesting. And then we also have Mike Perry fighting. Mike Perry's fighting Daniel Rodriguez.
Mike Perry, the underdog.
Yeah. Daniel Rodriguez is up and coming though. 13-2. He is a little bit older, but he'll have a 3-inch reach advantage. Mike Perry always seems to have a disadvantage on reach. I kind of like Mike Perry. Mike Perry has a lot of power for the welterweight division, but I think smart money's on Daniel Rodriguez.
Yeah, and I mean his number is not that bad. Well, go check out Bet the Deed.
Right.
But yeah, he I think it's a safer bet. I really do. It's a safer bet just because of the reach. But does the reach really even matter if he always does have a disadvantage with it?
Right.
So I think
by the way,
Mike Perry was supposed to fight not that long ago, and then it got canceled due to COVID, right?
Yes.
So this guy's eager to fight. Mike Perry by KO, sprinkle.
So I'm just noticing this. The main card of this fight night starts at 3 p.m. So this is going to be a fight night over by like 6:30, 7 o'clock. Early fight night, good for people to view it. Unfortunately, I won't be able to. 11 in the morning.
Never mind.
Yeah. But also on the card, we have Jim Miller versus Joe Selecki. Joe Selecki 10-2 taking on the veteran Jim Miller, who I believe now has the most fights in the UFC.
Tied with?
No, I believe he has one more than Cerrone now.
Does
it
he?
might be
or they
finishes.
Might be tied.
It might be finished. Yeah, it's something like that. Jim Miller's right up there. Selecki 10-2 and has 10 years. He's 10 years younger than Jim Miller. Yeah. He's also gonna have a half-inch reach disadvantage.
Yeah. Jim Miller coming off a win in his last fight, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Watch that fight. He looked good, but I don't know. 10-2, upcoming guy, not a big reach advantage. I might choose Jim Miller. I'm gonna go with experience.
I don't know Selecki too much.
I don't know him at all.
Maybe Jim Miller.
I do know Jim Miller though.
Selecki's 10-2. That would be a really good win on Selecki's resume if he were to beat him. Also, otherwhere on the card, we have Scott Holtzman taking on Matus Garrett. Matus Garrett 17-1, Holtzman 14-4. We also have Jorgen De Castro returning, local favorite of ours.
Local favorite, fall over.
Yaris Danyo. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. Yaris Danyo in a fight that we believe could go to decision, and if you watch Bet the Deed, could help you out to go watch Bet the Deed.
Yeah.
But Jorgen De Castro coming off a loss, I believe 2 losses in a row in his last 2 fights. To Carlos Felipe and Greg Hardy, and he's going to be fighting Yaris Darho, who's 6-1-1. So Jorgen De Castro is taking a little bit of a step down in competition, but it's still against a really good fighter, 6-1. I mean,
heavyweight, anything could happen.
Right.
Jorgen De Castro by decision, I think, is a good bet. It's a good. Go check it out. Go check out Bet the D.
So now we can get into next week. Next week is the big week. Next show is going to be a huge show.
Next show, yeah. Maybe live stream this because there is a lot of fights.
Oh, and the one other that I didn't get into, Ryan Bader versus Lyoto Machida will be happening tomorrow, Bellator 259. That's going to be a really interesting fight. I might try to watch that. Ryan Bader has been like the light heavyweight king for a little bit over there. I believe he lost at one point in the last year and a half, but besides that, he's ran shit. Obviously, with Anthony Johnson, Yoel Romero, Lyoto Machida, they have a great amount of competition over there in Bellator. But Ryan Bader should be the clear favorite in the whole tournament, and he is against Machida. Machida's way older.
Yeah, when is Bellator fight? When does that start?
It's tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
You work tomorrow?
Yeah. See if I can get
That'd probably be a pretty good live stream.
Oh, so in 2012, Lyoto Machida beat Ryan Bader in the UFC.
Wow. Your Cyborg came out and told people to, if they don't fuck with the UFC, to just go to Bellator.
Yeah, well, that's what she did.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Cyborg won Female Fighter of the Year last year for Bellator. She kills shit over there. Where? Oh, here it is. Okay. Bellator versus Machida 2, April 9th. Fight card, main card starts at 9, so this main event, Bader Machida, probably won't happen until like 11, so we might actually be able to catch this if we really wanted to tomorrow. Liz Carmouche is fighting on the card against Vanessa Porto. Liz Carmouche, former UFC bantamweight title challenger, and Kat Zingano.
What time does it start?
9 o'clock.
A.M.?
No. PM.
P.M.
Yeah.
Oh, it starts at 9.
The main card, yeah.
Let me know.
No, it's actually a decent time. Bader Machida. I really think Bader will win, but Machida has a chance. Machida is, former champ. I think Bader will win. And that will start off the Grand Prix. Next week, the Grand Prix continues with Yoel Romero versus Anthony Johnson in a fight that I've mentioned like 6 times today already because I really am hyped for it. I really think that fight is going to be a barn burner. Where? Yeah, so it should be in this one, right? Corey Anderson is fighting in the first round of the Grand Prix as well. Oh, God. He's fighting Davletshan Yagshimuradov. It's not bad, right? Davletshan Yagshimuradov. If I'm butchering that, I apologize. I'm sure he's probably used to it by now. Phil Davis is also fighting. Phil Davis is fighting in the light heavyweight Grand Prix as well. Phil Davis in the tournament. So that's interesting. When is Romero versus Johnson? Because I'm not seeing that here.
Maybe it's not.
Well, that's the date that it was scheduled
Is it in
for.
Connecticut? Is that what it's from? Can we go to Bellator? Well, anyway.
Yeah, keep going. I apologize.
Trying to figure out.
It says Bellator 257, so it should be next week. Anthony Pettis is fighting the week after. Dude, Bellator's got some names to
now.
it.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, maybe it's not on here.
So.
It's a big secret.
I know. I don't know what it is. It's definitely not on the prelims, right?
No.
Oh, this is going to piss me off. Why can't we find it? Ryan Bader's the heavyweight champion in Bellator? Jesus. Vadim Nemkov is the light heavyweight champ, so Phil Davis is fighting the light heavyweight champ.
Wow.
That's actually going to be a really good fight. Am I really going to have to just look it up by name? It's going to take forever.
There's a lot of people in Bellator, huh?
Yeah. Not all of them are going to be big names, though.
Yeah.
Obviously. This is ridiculous. Dylan Dennis is technically a fucking Bellator fighter.
Really?
Yeah. He's 2-0 in mixed martial arts.
Damn.
And he talks all that shit.
Well, good for him, I guess. Gracie.
Was there Gracie?
Yeah.
Oh, Hobson, Gracie. Yeah, no shit.
Crony Gracie. There was two of them.
And Anthony Johnson isn't even on the dude. There he is. Okay. Anthony Johnson. When's your next fight, buddy? Come on.
Opponent at the bottom. Dude, is this fight happening?
Dude, I swear to God, it got scheduled for April 16th. Yeah, it says April 16th. So Bellator is not advertising it, although on Google everything says that there's been no reports of any cancellations. So I don't know why Bellator is not confirming it, but we're just going to go ahead and say that it is next weekend.
Yeah.
The Grand Prix tournament is going to be something that we're going to follow because that's really interesting from Bellator. I love tournaments. I think the UFC should do them.
Yeah, we've talked about that in the pod before. It's like a UFC starting to do stuff that they've never done before, like the non-title, non-main event, 5-round fight for Nate Diaz, and
Leon Edwards.
And we've even seen them do a 3-title fight pay-per-view, which they've never done before.
Well, it was the second one they did.
Was it?
Yeah, 251 they did it too.
Oh.
Kamaru Usman versus Masvidal 1. They did it too. We are going to take a quick commercial break. You're watching MMA Complete, brought to you by SFBNRI. Also, go check out Naked Sports on YouTube. Check out MMA Complete on YouTube and on Twitter. Check out all SFBNRI platforms. Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch, Twitter, Periscope, YouTube, Snapchat,
TikTok,
Tinder, all that shit.
and boom.
And boomer. All right, so I actually found an update. Yoel Romero versus Anthony Johnson has been postponed to UFC 258.
Nope.
Yes.
Not UFC.
Bellator 258, excuse me. Where they will be in the co-main event. Sergio Pettis versus Juan Archuleta will be the main event.
Okay. So, I mean, I expected it to be a main event, but
I did too, but it was postponed, so I'm sure Pettis and Archuleta already had main event contracts.
Yeah.
Who you got? Romero Johnson.
Romero.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Romero. We've never seen him at 205. I think it's gonna be scary as fuck.
Yeah, he's gonna be huge, and he's probably on steroids.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got Yoel. I got Ryan Bader. I got the champ against Davis. I got Corey Anderson. Corey Anderson is a dark horse in that tournament. I really like Corey Anderson. Joe Rogan likes him too.
Interesting. I don't know anything about these guys, so I'm going to go with your opinion.
Also, before we get into the UFC, Ben Askren versus Jake Paul is next weekend.
Ugh.
It's so funny where we were a year ago compared to where we are now.
I know. I think these fights keep boxing alive. I think they're interesting. I think it grabs people's attention and it brings in new audiences. But I think Ben Askren. Damn, I think Jake Paul's gonna win still.
You think Jake Paul's gonna win, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know who's gonna win. I'm trying to find the rules right now because you know how the Tyson Jones Jr. fight was like if you get knocked down, the fight stops or some shit.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's gonna be the same.
No, definitely not.
I couldn't find it on Sportsbook, but this is saying that Jake Paul is the heavy favorite.
Really? Wow. Surprise. -2. Wow.
So, I like Ben Askren. I do. Jake Paul's bigger, which is going to help him out a lot. See if we can find a reach.
I don't know. Ben Askren's punching is pathetic.
It's not pathetic. It's pathetic compared to world-class boxers, but Jake Paul is not a world-class boxer. Jake Paul is 6'1", 76-inch reach. Ben Askren, 5'11", 72-inch reach.
When's Dylan joining, bro? Is he?
I'm not sure, but he'll be joining some point soon. Jake Paul has a 4-inch reach advantage over Ben Askren. So that's definitely going to help him out. Ben Askren been training with Freddie Roach is going to help out Ben Askren. I think
can't hurt him.
Right.
I
think we've never seen Jake Paul take a punch from an actually talented fighter.
Yeah. And
Ben Askren doesn't have the world's toughest chin either. So I think this fight gets stopped. And I really can't say who I think will stop it. I think Ben Askren will, but I'm not willing to put that on paper. Jake Paul has a reach advantage. It helps him. I don't think it's going to be enough, though. Ben Askren's going to have better movement than anybody Jake Paul's fought. It's going to be a different fight than when you're fighting a basketball player. You know what I mean? It's going to be way different.
Yeah, that is true. The movement is different.
And then the last topic next week is UFC Fight Night 160. 161, it's one of those. Between Robert Whittaker and Kelvin Gastelum. Big fight. I would say probably whoever wins this will fight Adesanya next. Because Robert Whittaker was already next up, and then he was going to fight Paulo Costa, but Costa backed out. So I think Whittaker Gastelum is now the number one contender for the middleweight number one contender. Jared Cannonier's in there. Brunson's in there now. Well, Kelvin Gastelum's 8. I thought he would have been higher.
I thought he was higher.
Mm-hmm. Which means Robert Whittaker should beat him. Kelvin Gastelum has heavy hands, though. Whittaker is just an all-around fighter. I like Robert Whittaker. I've always liked Robert Whittaker.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he should have gotten a rematch sooner. I thought he should have already had one. And if Adesanya didn't fight Blachowicz, I bet he would have had one by now. So I got Whittaker in that.
Maybe this fight proves us wrong.
The co-main event, Jeremy Stevens versus Drakkar Klose, is actually a big matchup, and that's going to be fought at lightweight, whereas they both are featherweights, but they're going to be fighting at lightweight. So I'm not sure exactly why they're doing that, but I like it. I think Jeremy Stevens needs a career resurgence, so maybe going to lightweight will help him out. Drakkar Klose, the younger of the two, and I believe is on a better record over his last couple of fights. Right. Andrei Arlovsky's also fighting next weekend against Chase Sherman. Andrei Arlovsky, the vet, who's just been cranking out fights lately.
Mm-hmm.
Good for him. He's still in it. He's trying to make some money.
Mm-hmm.
Gerald Meerschaert fighting on the undercard next weekend. Gerald Meerschaert can go to hell. Although we'd love to have you on the pod.
Mm-hmm. Just tell us if you're not feeling good, bud.
Jacob Malkoon fighting on next week's card. Jacob Malkoon trying to get back.
Next big thing.
Into the UFC's next big thing.
Next big thing. Mark, if you're listening, cheers to that.
Cheers to that, man. So that is all that's going to be happening next weekend. Next weekend's going to be a crazy 2 days. It's 2 days with all these fights. The Grand Prix.
Love it.
Romero versus Johnson will now be May 7th, so by then we'll know all the first round for the Grand Prix of Bellator, so that'll be interesting to talk about. Jake Paul versus Ben Askren is all we're going to be talking about for probably after it happens 2-3 weeks. Because whoever wins is going to be on Twitter nonstop after they win. It's going to be an endless parade.
Yeah.
And what's funny is they're both going to catch hate. Because both of them, if they put anything on Twitter, people are going to be like, dude, you beat a scrub.
I know.
Because they're both scrubs for boxing.
Here's the next step. Gotta keep going up and up.
If Jake Paul does win, it'd be interesting to see what he does after that.
Motherfucker's gonna get paid.
Yeah, I wonder if they have the purses yet for that. I doubt it.
Jake Paul, if he wins, will get paid his next fight. Paid. Like he should be paying. He should be behind Ben Askren's back, paying him off to lose.
They don't have anything on what the actual purse will be yet. But that will be interesting to figure out when it does happen. We're going to take another quick commercial break. We'll be right back. Watch MMA Complete on Naked Sports and SFBNRI. Tune in every Thursday night to watch Nickel Blanc and Titletown Throwdown. Jesus.
Whoa.
Titletown Throwdown, which he
been...
will actually be performing tomorrow at 7 o'clock because he was busy this week. But every Thursday night at 7 p.m., Titletown Throwdown. And boom, we're live. So now, really, all we have left to talk about is UFC 261.
Yeah, it might be a little short tonight.
Well, actually, we can talk about some of the fights that are coming up after 261, and then we can end on 261. So after 261, we have Dominic Reyes returning against Jerry Prochazka, which is going to be really interesting. Dominic Reyes needs a win, get back into the good graces of the light heavyweight division if he wants to push for Jan Blachwicz's title, which I'm sure he does.
For a rematch, that would probably may not be like a real like.
That's definitely like a co-main event.
Yeah.
Unless, Jan Blachwicz is becoming more of a draw. Dominic Reyes definitely lost his name a little bit, but it would be an interesting rematch. Although Glover Teixeira should get the first rematch against Jan Blachwicz.
This guy's too awesome to John Jones and the fucking champ.
Right.
Well, to champions. You know what I mean? So can't knock the dude.
The week after that, we have the return of TJ Dillashaw, who will be fighting Corey Sandhagen in a matchup that is so interesting.
Corey Sandhagen.
So interesting.
What a matchup.
I think TJ Dillashaw wins, but Corey Sandhagen has had way more fights over the last 2 years because TJ wasn't fighting, and Corey Sandhagen is the next big thing. He's likely to challenge for the title next in the bantamweight division.
Especially if he beats Dillashaw.
And TJ Dillashaw hasn't fought in like 2 years, so, I mean, TJ, I think, should win. TJ is so good. He was so good. But who knows if that was because of the drugs he was taking.
Yeah.
So.
Safe pick, TJ.
After that, UFC 262, we're going to run off these real quick. We have Oliveira versus Chandler for the lightweight title.
Okay.
We have Tony Ferguson versus Beneil Dariush in Tony Ferguson's possible last chance. If he loses, might get cut, maybe.
No, you still got a name.
You still got
Dylan Furtados in the world out there. You know what I mean? Like, I love him.
You also have Jack Hermanson versus Edmund Shabazian in what should be a great middleweight matchup.
Yeah.
You have Edson Barboza versus Shane Burgos in a spectacular featherweight,
Jack
pinning
Hermanson?
a younger guy versus a vet. Edson Barboza has been bouncing around since his early lightweight title days in like 2012.
Okay.
He went to Bellator and did all right, and now he's back in UFC fighting Shane Burgos, who's dangerous. That's going to be a great fight. You have Alex Perez before Brandon Moreno, the man who challenged Davison Figueiredo for the flyweight title, making his first fight back against Matthew Schnell. You have Valentina Shevchenko's sister fighting Andrea Lee. That was so disrespectful. Antonia Shevchenko will be fighting Andrea Lee. So there's just so many good fucking fights. Jordan Wright's going to be fighting Jamie Pickett. Caitlin Chikugian is fighting Vivian Araujo. And Jacare Souza is fighting Andre Muniz. That's a big card. That will be happening May 15th. Check it out when we live stream it. 6 p.m. to 1 p.m. 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. MMA Complete live streams every pay-per-view. And then after that, the week after that, is Rob Font versus the returning Cody Garbrandt. May's going to be packed with fights, too.
We've been saying this. Yeah, April and May is crazy.
2021 in general is just such a great year.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll see.
All right, UFC 261. We're just over 2 weeks away. Kamaru Usman defends his title against Jorge Masvidal for the second time. Masvidal gets a proper training camp before this fight. There will also be 2 more title fights, women's strawweight and women's flyweight. Strawweight title holder Weili Zhang returns after her fight of the year last year with Joanna Jędrzejczyk to fight Rose Namajunas, another MMA Complete favorite, Thug Rose.
Yeah.
And Valentina Shevchenko fights Jessica Andrade for her flyweight title. So 3 title fights. And then you also got Uriah Hall versus Chris Weidman and Anthony Smith versus Jimmy Crute. And on the prelims, we have
Jimmy Crute,
Carl Roberson versus Brendan Allen.
Oh, Brendan Allen.
You got Alex Oliveira, the Cowboy, returning to fight Randy Brown.
Cowboy Cerrone?
No, Cowboy Alex Oliveira.
Oh. Alex Oliveira?
Not Charles Oliveira. Alex Oliveira.
Yeah, the guy that knocked out Adesanya?
No.
Oh.
Alex Oliveira's been in the UFC for a while.
Oh, okay.
So UFC 261. What do you say about it? Because Usman's such a favorite. Masvidal lost, obviously, in his last fight, but it was because of a short notice.
You cannot underestimate that left hook that knocked out Darren Till. It shocked everybody. Could he shock people again? I don't know.
I mean, Kamaru Usman did just get rocked in his last fight.
Yeah.
I would say Jorge Masvidal has at least the same power as Gilbert Burns.
Yeah.
But Kamaru Usman's just such a complete fighter. We also saw the advantage of training with another fighter just 2 weeks ago when Ngannou won.
Did he just camp?
He's training with Ngannou now.
Oh.
So he's been training with Ngannou for the last 2 months. Although I'm sure Ngannou hasn't been training the last 2 weeks. He's probably been, going back to his home country and everything.
Yeah.
So Usman's been training his ass off for this fight. This was a short notice fight for both guys. It was only a month out that they announced it because as soon as they got the information they were going to have a crowd, they booked this fight.
Yeah. But I think they've known about this fight's going to be happening for a while.
Yeah, they did. They were
Masvidal, he's not he's always training. So what's he I mean, if it wasn't Usman, who was Masvidal going to fight? Kobe? Yeah, we did. Yeah. That fight did get skipped over. And I think Usman should face Kobe.
I do too. The reason this fight we all knew this was going to happen was because the UFC were trying to book these two to coach the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah.
And now, because of their postponed championship fight that was supposed to happen in UFC 260, the Ultimate Fighter will now be hosted by Alex Volkanovski and Brian Ortega. That's news awesome. Being announced last week, so that was really good to hear.
That's awesome because those names are not big, but that could bring some more exposure to him and hype
definitely
up,
will, and it will hype up Volkanovski, who's been the champ for over a year now, and probably doesn't have the respect of casual MMA fans because they might not know who he is. But Volkanovski's tough as
people know Brian Ortega than more than the champion.
Do. And Brian Ortega should be highlighted too. And I think Brian Ortega will talk some trash, and Volkanovski will, not have any of it. So I think that's going to be a really interesting season. I'm excited to see that. Would have loved to see Usman versus Masvidal though. That would have been a great ultimate.
That would have been the best. That would have been the best.
Masvidal on weekly TV. That would have been great.
Masvidal, man, the shit talking he would have done be like, "What you gonna do about it?"
Yeah,
you just be act all tough, puff his chest, fucking.
You would have.
It would have been great. There would have been some fucking broken doors, I bet.
Yeah. UFC 262 that we mentioned earlier, May 15th. That's also Leon Edwards versus Nate Diaz. We didn't mention that.
Good one.
Yeah. So UFC 262 so stacked, and we're still over a month out on that. Can't wait for that card either.
Yeah, I know. It's
But
and then we got McGregor. McGregor Poirier is going to be here before you know it, dude.
Right.
July 10th.
In between McGregor Poirier and Oliveira Chandler, we have Moreno Figueiredo too. That's going to be I can't wait for that fight.
Yeah, some people do their 4th of July parties the week after 4th of July just because of where it lands. So, like, people, this could break records. Top 5. We don't even really know who else is on the card, too.
Poirier Conor, you're saying?
Top 5. It's a trilogy.
Yeah, I'm sure they're gonna hype it the fuck up. There was, Wonderboy Thompson will be fighting Gilbert Burns.
Yeah, that is a good fight.
On the Conor card,
I guess.
And there's one more undercard fight that got announced. I think it might be Tai Tuivasa. Yep, Tai Tuivasa versus Greg Hardy is also going to be on that card.
Greg Hardy. Even though Tai Tuivasa,
I think I have Tai Tuivasa.
He just beat Stefan Struve.
He just knocked. He didn't just beat Struve, but he just knocked someone out. Tuivasa on a hot streak, and Greg Hardy coming off a hot streak. So that's going to be a really good.
What do you mean? He's 7-0.
Who?
He just beat Jorgen De Castro. He didn't lose.
Greg Hardy, no, he lost.
He did too.
Yeah. I can't remember who it was, but he just lost. He got knocked out in the first round. His last fight.
I think I watched this fight.
Greg Hardy 7-3. Lost to Marcin Tybura. Yep.
I might have Tai Tuivasa.
Yeah, I think I have Tai Tuivasa.
Wow.
Tai Tuivasa has been good in the heavyweight division for a lot of years, and I think it's going to be a good fight, but I think Tuivasa might knock out Hardy.
Yeah.
That's months away, though.
Oh, yeah.
We don't got to talk about that.
We're eons away.
3 months away. Usman Masvidal. Actually, first, Shevchenko Andrade. Jessica Andrade, we did just see fight. Her opponent escapes me of who it was. She beat Chikugian. And October 17th, that would have been 253, so that would have been Costa Adesanya. We didn't actually watch that pay-per-view, so we didn't see it. But Andrade, stand-up-wise, boxing-wise, has a chance to do a lot of damage against Shevchenko. But Shevchenko's the champ.
Yeah.
Shevchenko fucking wrestled for the first time in her career and absolutely destroyed a wrestler in Jennifer Maia. So Shevchenko's good all around. I think Shevchenko has that easily. The more interesting fight is Weili Zhang versus Rose Namajunas.
Yeah, Thug Rose.
Thug Rose versus Zhang. So Rose has the wrestling advantage.
We should have talked this about.
Zhang has, we talked about it last week and it hasn't changed.
Yeah.
Zhang has a stand-up advantage. Rose isn't bad on the stand-up, though. I think after her war with young Jacek last year, that Zhang looks unstoppable. And Rose has a lot of experience, so this fight's up in the air for me. If I had to put money on it, I think I would say Zhang. But Rose, don't discount Rose. Yeah. Especially in the prime time. In the prime time when she fights the cyborgs of the world and she fights Jessica Andrade, who she just beat a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Rose Namajunas can come to play sometimes. So that's going to be really interesting.
Rose, so. I watched some of her highlights on YouTube the other night.
I think I might have Weili Zhang. But we have 2 weeks to change my mind about that because I think I might. And then Masvidal versus Usman.
Over under. What do you got?
What do you think it is? Do you think it's 4.5?
Yeah.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
I think under, man. I think under.
The problem is I don't see Masvidal getting stopped. I do not see him getting knocked out. And I do not see Usman getting knocked out. I think it goes to another decision, man. I really think it does.
Who do you think is more likely to get knocked out? I can see Usman knocking down Masvidal and maybe finishing the fight.
I don't see the baddest motherfucker getting knocked out. I would say Usman.
He's not the baddest motherfucker though.
Yeah, I know he is.
That belt didn't mean shit.
He is.
It didn't mean shit.
It is.
That belt didn't do anything for him. Except he got to fucking get hugged by The Rock. That was all that belt did for Jorge Masvidal.
Dude, that motherfucker knocked a good dude out in 3 seconds. 3 seconds.
4. Yeah, it was technically 3. You're right.
It was technically 2. Like, the guy sprinted at him. And then before that, he fucking baptized Darren Till with the left hook. So, I mean, the guy's definitely made a name for himself, and he's definitely put in the work.
He's made a name for himself.
Put in the work. Look at where he's come from, dude. Backyard Kimbo Slice. Like,
I have. This is a question for me now. Okay, so Jorge Masvidal.
Don't see him get knocked out.
So Jorge Masvidal.
Say it goes to decision. Jorge then fights Kobe, or Kobe because
I'm just looking this up right now. Like Jorge Masvidal's last couple wins, right? You have Darren Till, who's number 5 in middleweight, but he's out of welterweight now.
Yeah.
You have Nate Diaz, who's not in the rankings because he hasn't fought, and you have Ben Askren, who's not there anymore. So he's fought 3 people on their way out. You know what I mean? Besides Usman.
Not Darren Till, though. Darren Till's ranked 4.
Well, Darren Till was out of the division.
He's ranked 4, though.
Darren Till's out of the division. And he's only ranked 4. He's only ranked 4 because he hasn't fought anybody in the division. He hasn't fought in the division yet.
He's about to.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
He just tore his tricep.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know.
So, man, I don't see Usman losing.
Why don't you left out?
I don't see Usman.
Why don't you left out?
What's that?
The 5-round fight that he had against the dude on 6-day notice. Like, you could say all the 3-round fights. And
No.
The dude went 5 rounds with him.
But the only thing respectable about it is that his cardio helped him go 5 rounds. Like, it's not a fight he's proud of. He got dominated.
I would say dominated.
No,
if he got dominated, it would have been finished.
He lost 50-45 on every card. 49-46 on one card.
I don't know. We're about to find out, though.
We are about to find out. I think I would take Usman. Fighters. I think I would take Usman and...
Oh, no, definitely taking Usman.
I think I would take decision.
Usman decision.
They don't have that up.
Because even if it does go to decision, Jorge ain't winning. I didn't say he was winning.
Right.
I just think it goes to a decision again.
Jorge, a huge underdog, though. You know what? Towards the fight, I bet we're going to see a lot of people bet on Masvidal. Might not be a bad idea to bet on Usman right before. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people, I think, will bet on Masvidal right before.
I'd rather bet on Usman decision. I'd rather not bet. Well, that's what I'm picking. I'm not even going to bet on it. Or I might bet on it. I would choose Usman decision.
Yeah.
What is that? Oh, well, the number's not there yet, so it don't matter.
Yeah, no, it's not. I was just checking that.
Mm.
I think Usman training with Ngannou is going to really help him.
Yeah. I
think
guess it
Usman
can't
has
hurt
the
him, but I
grappling
don't see
advantage.
it can't hurt him, but I don't see how it does him any good.
Because he's been training with the caliber of a world champ. You know, he's been sparring with someone who's
Yeah, I
obviously
guess so.
able to wrestle now.
Sparring with a guy that's not in his division, or like they're not even going 100%. Well, you don't really ever go 100%, but like
You go close though,
you're
especially
not,
right up to
He's not
Ngannou's fight.
mimicking his opponents,
No, he's not.
so.
But he's been training with a world-class champion. You know, that's not nothing.
But he is a world-class champion.
Right.
So I think it's more of a thing Francis training with him now. Because Usman's been a champion longer.
Right. I think it's both of them. Kamaru Usman, number 2 pound for pound right now in the world.
Who's number 1?
John Jones. Ngannou, number 5. Stipe dropped all the way down to 7. Adesanya, 4th in the world. Jan Blachowicz at 8th.
Stipe versus Jan would be a good fight.
Yeah, but that won't happen.
Yeah, I know.
Jan wouldn't go up to heavyweight, I don't think. Let's see Stipe versus Max Holloway. I want to see that.
Dude, Figueiredo, Moreno needs to happen still, man.
Yeah, that's going to happen June 12th.
Damn, that's gonna be
It's going to be a great rematch.
That's sick. We're gonna be live streaming that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Gaethje 11. Yeah, Piotr Jan. Yeah. Aljamain Sterling. Wow, get that.
Sterling
guy
is
off.
under Jan. Yep.
He's
Connor's
over
top
Connor.
15. Get out of here. Connor's 15th pound for pound. Stop it.
Put-
No
Put
way.
GSP up there for him,
Dude, I would put Corey Sandhagen above him. I would put Brian Ortega above him.
You didn't even put Dominic Reyes.
Glover
above.
Teixeira. I would definitely put Glover Teixeira above him. Yeah, Connor has no business at the top 15. He's just there for fucking... Connor's 6th.
You put Robert Whittaker.
Look at
Whittaker.
Oliveira, Chandler, and Ferguson all ahead of lightweight than Conor McGregor, but they're not in the top 15 and Conor is. That's just Conor being the name that people want to see top 15 so that they could sell the Poirier fight. That's all it is.
No. I don't think him being in the top 15 would fucking...
Well, there's no reason for it. If Charles Oliveira, number 3 in the division.
No champion right
now. That's basically all we have. So, is there anything else you want to say on MMA?
I hope my picks win.
Yeah, I hope your picks win too.
I hope yours do too.
Thanks,
so
man.
I think Kevin Holland. Let's retract. Okay. Conclusion.
Yep. Kevin Holland, Marvin Vettori.
Kevin Holland, Marvin Vettori. I think Vettori by decision.
Dude, Kevin Holland has what's listed as a 7-inch reach advantage.
That is so crazy. Kevin Holland by KO is not.
It's not
crazy.
A bad bet, no.
But every time he's facing a guy with the name,
I think Vettori by decision's smart because I think Vittori's just going to wrestle him, especially seeing what Brunson just did to him.
Yeah, I don't think he knows what to do on the ground yet. No. He has no experience on the ground in the UFC. Yeah. I'm gonna go with my first pick.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Marvin Vettori.
Shout out Don Furtado.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that
for not showing up.
He's probably gonna come in 2 minutes. Be like, yo, my bad.
Yeah, big. I tried to join, but I decided to just run here. Or he's scootered here.
All right, so make sure you check out MMA Complete live stream when we do UFC 261 and 262. Those April 24th, May 12th, respectively. We're also going to be doing 263 on June 12th and 264 on July 10th.
Yeah.
We're going to be live streaming all of those 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. as we do every pay-per-view.
Don't forget to check out Bet the Deed.
Bet the Deed podcast every Thursday night.
Before MMA Complete.
Yep, we live stream 2 hours in a row.
Yeah. And that pretty much wraps it up.
That basically wraps it up, yeah.
If you guys want to make some money tonight, choose the Suns.
Now, I would like to take 5 minutes. I'm going to run an ad, but I just want to check social media because we always get breaking news in the middle of the podcast, and we don't see it till right after. So we're going to run a commercial. We'll be right back.